Post-World War I by Alicia and Bree. 19th Amendment. The year of 1920 was a year of change. On June 4th, 1919, the 19th Amendment was passed by Congress. On August 18th of 1920, it was ratified. The 19th Amendment is the amendment that granted women the rights to vote, prohibiting any United States citizen to be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state based on the sex. When it was ratified on August 18th of 1920, it was after a long struggle, known as the women's suffrage movement. The struggle for women did not end with just the 19th Amendment ratification, especially for the black women, who still face barriers in some southern states. The reasons for this inequality has to do with the social expectation of women at the time. Women are to be the role model of the families and were considered the weaker sex of the two. Women taking care of the families were taken for granted due to the inability to get income. Once the husband died, women had no financial income to support the family. The Sacco Falls in 1848 was the first women's rights convention, marking the beginning of the organized women's rights movement in America. Elizabeth and Cady Stanton presented a series of resolutions in her Declaration of Sentiments. One of the resolutions was demand for recognition of women's rights to vote. The women's rights to vote was not approved at the convention, but because of the 19th Amendment, women all over America are now rejoicing.
Sacco and Vanzetti. A lot of things happened in the 1920s. These two men, Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti, gained the spotlight and significance because on April 15th, they were arrested because they were accused of murder and burglary. They supposedly shot and killed a man and his guard at a shoe company in South Braintree, Massachusetts. They left the crime scene with more than $15,000. On July 14th, they were both sentenced to execution, even though most of the people felt they were innocent. They were important because they believed that social justice would only come through the destruction of governments. In the 1920s, there was a fear of communism, anti-immigrant hysteria, and them knowing the battle lying ahead of them. They sided with the right wing. A nationwide fear of communism suddenly grabbed the American people after the communists took power in Russia. Innocent people were jailed for expressing their views and opinions, and civil liberties were ignored. This made the Red Scare occur. 50 years after Sacco and Vanzetti's execution, the case against those two was declared unjust and false. In 1961, a test of Sacco's gun using modern forensic techniques apparently proved it was his gun that killed the guard, though little evidence had been found to substantiate Vanzetti's guilt. In 1977, the Massachusetts governor, Michael Dukakis, issued a proclamation on Sacco and Vanzetti stating they were treated unfairly and no stigma should be associated with their names. Authorities also had failed to come up with any evidence of stolen money. The Sacco and Vanzetti trial in Massachusetts and the Scopes trial in Tennessee brought many Americans' fear and suspicions about immigrants, racial politics, and the ways in which new scientific theories might challenge traditional Christian beliefs.